Alright, everybody. Hopefully, we are live now. I'm going to give the stream a second to catch up. This is Bobby Gaines here, and this is Net Gains, Episode 6. Very fittingly taking place during the 6th month of the year, and I am thrilled to be here again. I got some Mountain Dew Maui Burst, of all things, a little tropical flavor for today's episode. It is, not officially summer, but sure feels like summer on a day like today. I even had a rare morning DJ gig out in the sun, which, I had some mixed feelings about that. But the actual music playing was a lot of fun. I enjoyed DJing for I don't know how many people, but it was a fun time at Groton Middle School this morning. Had some laughs, played some good songs. Played some not so good songs. It's amazing how many songs you don't even know being a DJ. So, you would think I would know like everything. But, no, like I said, I'd like to welcome everybody, which I realize it might take a little bit for people to show up. This is Net Gains Episode 6. We are here in this really cool little, not porch, but kind of indoor summery area. Hopefully my sound is coming in all right. It's been a long time since I've done this. My last YouTube live stream was back before Christmas, obviously, the Christmas countdown of 2020. So you're looking at almost 6 months since I've done this. Of course, I've done plenty on Twitch. This is all being filmed live on my Canon camera. The, what do you call it? Canon Vixia. I'm just kind of checking the settings right now as, once again, welcoming everybody to the room. To the outside room. I await some comments, hopefully good ones. Be nice to me. I don't have to do this, but I do enjoy doing this. The only reason I haven't done this more often, because originally Net Gains was supposed to be a monthly thing, and the reason I didn't do it more often is because there's just not enough to talk about each month, yeah. I did the first 3 episodes of Net Gains last year, back to back to back, and so I think it was I don't know, February, March, April, something like that. So it's not much changed in those months, and not even counting the pandemic. So I'm like, what if I do this seasonally? So, last October I did an episode, which I actually thought went pretty well. Went on almost 3 hours. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do 3 hours today, but we'll see. As you guys know, once I start talking, I kind of get on a roll, and anything can happen. Looks like we got our first viewer right here. Great game for the Celtics, best. But my team just got... Wait, what? My team just got swept? Oh, are you the Miami Heat fan? Is that why you're saying your team got swept? Yeah, Boston Celtics. I'm glad you mentioned that topic because I just released a rant about the Boston Celtics literally last night before all this other news broke, and I kind of just gave them their grief, the Celtics getting blown out by the Brooklyn Nets, which I don't think anybody sees as a surprise. And then, literally this afternoon, before I went live today, the Celtics announced that Danny Ainge is out as the general manager, and Brad Stevens is now going to be the general manager of the team. You can't make this stuff up. Obviously, if that news had come out last night, I would have mentioned it, but literally just today, on top of everything else going on with the Celtics, they're going to move their head coach to the front office, which means I guess they're going to get another coach. I don't know all the details, unless they're going to have Brad Stevens be like Phil Jackson and kind of run both, be the coach and the GM, which would be kind of weird. But the whole thing is weird. They must have had their mind made up on Danny Ainge. Either that or he just told them it's his last season. Because, they weren't going to beat the Nets. Even if they somehow, by some miracle, did beat the Nets, I don't think it really would have changed anything. Oh, we got somebody else on the channel. Hey, what's up, B-Mark? It's funny, the people I see on these live streams that I never see during the rest of the year. Where's my girl at? So help me God, if you're talking about Caitlin, you're not going to see her ever again. If you want to see her, feel free to watch any Maltor video between 2015 and 2017, because that's the only place you're going to see her. Otherwise, you're just stuck with me, sorry to say. But we are talking a little Celtics basketball now. It wasn't my main point, but I was going to get to it. My friend here, Kenny, kind of got things started. So the Celtics, like I mentioned, promoting Brad Stevens to GM, a very weird move. Like I said, they must have known, because they weren't going to beat the Nets. Even if they did beat the Nets, that's a pretty major move. That's not something you do just to do it. That's not a reactionary, oh, we lost too early in the playoffs, let's promote our head coach. None of it makes sense unless they knew it was going to happen. Unless they were you know what, we need someone else to make the roster. We don't like what Danny Ainge is doing. We don't like maybe they didn't like the coaching job that Stevens was doing. I don't know. The whole thing makes zero sense to me. I guess my only hope is that, and again, I have no idea. I didn't know Brad Stevens had any desire to be an executive, but since he is, my only hope is that maybe Brad Stevens will be more aggressive with the team in terms of like trading draft picks, kind of moving up in the draft, doing different things. I did feel that as good of a job as Danny Ainge did constructing the roster, he kind of swung and missed a lot of times. And sometimes he didn't even swing. Like, and I'm not saying you got to get every big player, but like players like Jimmy Butler, Paul George, they had options. I'm not saying they were great options, but they had ways to upgrade the team. And it seemed like Danny Ainge was always waiting for the perfect deal to come along. And, he did make the Kyrie Irving trade. He did do a couple big moves, but it just seemed like Danny Ainge was just always so trigger shy. And I'm not saying I want someone to be completely the opposite, but when you look at where the team is and you kind of just try to figure out where they're going, I have no idea. So maybe a different mind in the the front office will help. I just don't know why that person is Brad Stevens, who's the guy who coached the team for the last 6-7 years. So let's see. We had some new comments. Congrats to the Brooklyn Nets. Great game for your Boston Celtics team. At least they got a one-game win, unlike my team got swept. It's hard to digest this problem. Hey, you know what? You guys, the Miami Heat, you beat the Celtics last year. As you guys know, I was pretty upset about that. So, you know what? The Heat, at least they made an NBA Finals last year. And, they won a few with LeBron. I mean, Miami Heat, they're a weird team. They'll have a few good seasons, then they'll be just okay. But you know what? I'd almost rather have that than the Celtics, where it seems like the Celtics are like just on this trending pattern of just being okay. And they haven't won anything. I'm sorry. I know the goal isn't to make the finals and lose, but at least the goal from year to year should get better. And I feel like the Celtics have regressed. Not just this year, but I mean like last year, losing to the Heat. I'm sorry. It's just not acceptable. Hey, what's up, Randy? We're talking a little Boston Celtics. Again, I didn't mean to just jump into this, but that's the great thing about these little live chats is that it kind of goes how you guys want it to go. Celtics, what a huge disappointment this year. Yeah, I know. And again, I mentioned this in the rant I did last night, so check that out. So the Celtics didn't make the Eastern Conference Finals, obviously. But I mean, was that really the goal? Was the goal to make the third round of the playoffs? Had they played better, maybe they got like the 3 seed and then they don't face the Nets until later. I still think they lose to the Nets no matter what, even if they have Tatum and Brown both playing. So I said this in my rant last night, and I'll say it again. I know on the surface it's disappointing because you made it to the third round last year. You only made it to the first round this year. But if you look at it, you were going to have to play the Nets. I mean, barring some kind of huge upset or something, you were going to have to play the Nets. You weren't going to beat the Nets. I don't care if you played them in the bubble. I don't care if you played them with home field somehow. Like, you just weren't going to beat them. Not with this Celtics team. So, yeah, it sucks, but they also played like garbage all year. So I'm not like, it's not like this team had championship aspirations before the playoffs. I'm surprised they even made the playoffs. Like you said, they almost missed the playoffs, having to do the play-in tournament. I almost think the Sixers would have been a better matchup, and I don't know that they would have beaten the Sixers, but at least, to me, it would have been a better matchup, and ironically, then you would have had to play like the Bucks or something. I don't even know how it would have worked, but we don't have to worry about that because the Celtics are out. So let's see, what do we got here? We got some other comments here. Celtics disappointment. It's time for some new things. Change from the Celtics after all. Hey, hi Gaines. Who do you think is going to go to the NBA Finals? Oof. Well, having watched the Celtics in all 5 games and give the Nets a really good fight, it's hard to go against the Nets. I mean, they were lighting it up. And I can't even say, and that's kind of the sad thing, is that the Celtics in that last series, even though they lost, that's probably the best I've seen them play in a long time. And they didn't have Brown. I'm not really making excuses, but they didn't have one of their best players, Jaylen Brown. And they won that game in Boston. They were competitive for some of Game 4 and 5. So you saw a Celtics team that really gave it all they had. So I can't say like they just packed it in, but the Nets are just really good. Like I watched them play really good defense on Durant. He was making shot after shot. Kyrie, when he gets going, it's hard to stop him. James Harden, I mean, I always knew he was a good player, but like he's really good at setting up others. Like he was getting like 15 assists a game, it seemed like, and also taking his own shots. Making every 3 that they tossed to him. So I mean, Jason Tatum can score, 30, 40, 50 points, but it's not going to matter when you got those 3. So who do I think goes to the finals if I had to guess? I mean, I know it's kind of an easy answer, but I do think the Brooklyn Nets come out of the East, and I'm not sure who comes out of the West. I think the Lakers could win their first round series with the Suns, even though the Suns have the lead. I'm not as big on the Lakers as a lot of people are, and a lot of stuff has to go right for the Lakers to come out of the West. I know that's a big pick, and I'm not big on the Clippers either, so it's really wide open in the West. I would not be comfortable picking a team for the Nets to play in the finals, but, last year was kind of weird with, the bubble. You had the Heat and Lakers. Obviously, the Heat won't be going to the finals, and I don't think the Lakers will either, even if they win this first round. I don't think the Lakers are going to get past the second round. So as much as I'm kind of going against myself here, I think it might be the Clippers. I think the Clippers and Nets might be your finals. That's just a really weak guess right now. What else we got here? So I already, god damn, there's a lot of stuff. I'm glad to see the activity though. There's a lot of Celtics talk early on here. What do I think about Brad being the president? I kind of touched on that. It really doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what his responsibilities will be. I don't know if he'll be exactly like Danny Ainge was, pulling all the trades. I don't know if the owner will have more say in it. I don't know. Ironically, he might have to hire his own replacement, Brad Stevens. Like, he might have to hire the new coach. So, I mean, that's going to be kind of funny. I don't know who's going to be the next coach of the Celtics. That's what's kind of intriguing me now. Do they go out and get a veteran name? Do they get a younger guy? Do they get... I don't know, coach might get fired. They might be able to get someone that way. Maybe they promote from within the organization. Because, I mean, for all the crap I gave them, I didn't think Brad Stevens was a bad coach. I still don't. And as far as him being a GM, I have no idea what to expect. So, I kind of would have rather have Brad Stevens, if they were going to keep him, stay as the coach. I also would not have been against them getting rid of Brad Stevens, but keeping him and moving him up to the front office to me is just confusing as all hell. And again, I guess it'll depend on who they get for the coach. It'll depend on the move Stevens makes. It just felt like a very weird move, and that's why I think they were going to make it regardless. I don't think this is because, we're so mad we lost to the Nets, Ainge, you're fired. Stevens, you're the new Ainge. Like, it doesn't feel like that. It can't feel like that. Hey, what's up, David? I heard a rumor that another mall tour is taking... Wait, what? Mall tour? I don't know what you're talking about. This is also my first time meeting you officially, so thank you for tuning in. I like the title of your channel there, David's Parmcast. Another mall tour. I'm not sure what you mean, but the mall tour, and I am going to talk about the mall tour in a little bit. And I haven't forgot about you, Strap. This is a 16.9 bottle of Maui Burst, fresh from Dollar General, from a 6-pack. So do you mean like there's another, what do you call it? Another person doing mall tours? Like, I'm not surprised about that at all. Besides my quote-unquote copycats, my friends Kevin and Ryan, who did make their own mall tour videos, I've seen other things online. If you type in mall tour on YouTube, I'm not going to lie, you'll find other videos besides mine. People who go to malls and just check them out. I actually saw channels that are strictly about going to elevators at malls. Like, they go to malls and they're like, oh, this is, such and such elevator. Like, they do more research than I do, quite frankly, and I've mentioned that even in my own videos. So no, I mean, it's not like, first of all, it's not like I'm making any money off these videos. So it's not like I'm losing money if there's a competing mall tour channel, like, oh no, I'm being taken over by Mall Tours R Us. Like, no, I don't, I mean, there's so much on YouTube, as creative as I might think I am, I'm sure it's been done before, and it will be done again. What did you think of Kyrie stepping on the Celtics logo? Well, as you know, I'm not a big Kyrie Irving fan. If you don't know that, you know it now. I thought it was stupid. I think almost everything he does is stupid. I think him trying to make a big statement before the game and like during the game was just like uncalled for. Like he's going to act like the Celtics really did him so wrong now. Like 2 years after he played for them, he's going to act like, oh, the Celtics were terrible to me. Like, how? Like, they offered him a max contract. He supposedly wanted to stay. And then he's going to do that crap, like step on the Celtics logo and act like a jerk to the fans. And also your suggestion, Randy, about Kevin Garnett. I don't know if you mean like as the coach. That would be interesting, but I don't know if Kevin Garnett wants to coach. And I don't know. Yeah, he'd be good at like yelling at everybody and getting, everybody fired up, but I don't know how good he is as a strategist. Again, he might be very good. I honestly don't know. I've never heard anything about him wanting to coach. I know that seems to be the thing now, is having like recently retired players coach, like Steve Nash and Jason Kidd coached for a little bit. In fact, he might still be coaching. I don't know. But, just because Kevin Garnett was a good player doesn't mean he'll necessarily be a good coach if he wants to be a coach, which I don't know if he does. He is making that money on Twitch. Who's making? Oh, yeah, me? Yeah, I'm making a ton of money. I don't even need this stream. I'm making so much on Twitch. Twitch has seen a lot of streams, as you guys know. I actually haven't streamed on Twitch in a few days. But But I will be streaming tomorrow, so if you guys are interested, and I'm going to just mention this now while I actually have some viewers in the room, I do stream on Twitch. You can find me on Twitch as Chaos Blur, all one word, even though it's two words. Chaos Blur, of course, a reference to Sonic the Hedgehog, another topic we'll be covering in today's live rant. And tomorrow on Twitch at 5 p.m. will be Retro Request Party episode 33, otherwise known as Retro 33 at 5 p.m. Kind of a later start time, but I think it'll be worth it. Randy, I think you'll be particularly interested in that episode, so I'm looking forward to that. But staying on topic, and there is a lot to get to here. Speaking of the Brooklyn Nets, I'm watching YouTube subscriber Cash Nasty. Honest was saying, put the super team because a 36-year-old. What do you? I'm not really. Randy didn't capitalize that sentence. That's a good catch. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you saying that like Brooklyn, put together? Obvious they did. Do you think it's true that Cash Nasty? I don't know who that is. That this has something to do with the Lakers? I don't know. What would LeBron gain from having Kyrie go to the Nets? I don't really know. I know LeBron started. Well, a lot of people say the Celtics started the super team thing with the big three. I don't personally agree. But LeBron definitely took it to another level when he made his super team in Miami. I mean, that was so obvious. He made his decision to go to Miami and join Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh purposely to win a whole crap ton of titles. And they did win 2, but, then after that, LeBron's entire career has been basically just trying to find other all-stars to team up with. And then, of course, you had the Golden State Warriors, who I hesitate to call them a super team, although they did add Durant, so at that point, I guess they were. So, yeah, it does seem like every couple of years we get a new super team, whether it's Brooklyn or the Heat or the Warriors. So I don't know what rumor you're talking about LeBron James and the Lakers. I don't think that had anything to do with the Nets. I mean, obviously they got James Harden to try to beat the Lakers if they play them in the finals, but, yeah, I'm not really sure. I went to a gentleman's club and the cash was nasty. I was going to say, I honestly don't know exactly. I don't understand parts of that sentence. I don't know who Cash Nasty is. Particularly Cash Nasty with a question mark. I don't know if there's any significance to that. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't like super teams. I've always been of that thing. Part of me is just mad at the Nets, basically. The whole joke was for 5 or 6 years there that the Celtics screwed the Nets. The Nets traded their future basically to the Celtics. They traded them 3 first-round picks to get Garnett and Pierce, who weren't that good at that point. And they didn't win anything with them, and the Celtics basically were able to turn that into Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and they traded one of those picks for Kyrie Irving. The funny thing is about the Kyrie Irving trade, yeah, it sucks that he left, but the Celtics really, when you look back at it, they didn't lose that much. The Celtics traded a Brooklyn pick to Cleveland that eventually I think became Richie Sexton or something, who's a decent player, but I'm not going to go nuts over him. So they traded a first-round pick to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They traded Isaiah Thomas, who at the time was their best player. But, unfortunately, and I love Isaiah Thomas, he didn't really end up turning into much. And they traded a couple other players. So it's not like they traded their future. They traded a few really good assets. Kyrie had a good year or 2 in Boston, and then he left. So to me, it was kind of a wash of a trade. Obviously you would have liked to keep Kyrie long term. It didn't happen. You move on. You were hoping Kemba Walker would be a better replacement. I also mentioned this in my rant last night. I didn't think Kemba Walker was going to be the next Kyrie Irving, but I thought he would at least, hold his own a little bit better. And I mean, that's kind of it, And I don't want to spend my entire, I don't want to spend the entire rant on the Celtics. Although I am glad we got to this early because that was something I wanted to talk to. Because the news about Brad Stevens literally just dropped today, and I was already going to have some stuff to say. Aiden, the Backyardigans and Bluey fan club, or Bluey fan. Hey, what's up? It's actually really funny. When I DJ'd this morning, it's still really weird to say that I DJ'd on a Wednesday morning. When I DJ'd this morning, I had a couple requests for songs by the Backyardigans, who, shocker, I had never heard of, amidst other songs. People, no matter how many songs I think I know and how many songs I have from all different eras, and Strap can attest to this, I was getting some weird requests today, man. I was getting some weird stuff. Somebody requested, a song from a video game. I can't even remember what the game was now. It wasn't Fortnite, but it was something fairly popular, the game, but that doesn't mean I have the song. It was a song from a game. And this happened on more than one occasion. A lot of the requests were what you think, the usual, Dua Lipa, modern top 40, but then there were a few that were just something called Chug the Jug or something. There was just some weird stuff. Some of it I had, a lot of it I didn't. And, like, the kids, of course, you know, because, I mean, they weren't kids. They were, like, 12, 13 years old. It was a middle school event. But, like, these people who request things, they, like, run up to me, literally. They say, like, some sentence fragment, and then they run off. They're like, do you have Hajiba Mima? And then they just leave. And I'm like, what? I don't know. Do I have Hajiba Mima? I don't know. Don't at me. Well, I just did at you. Because if anybody can relate to me on that, it's Strap. And like I said, it was a good outing for the most part. It's kind of hot. Got a little sunburn, but kids are foolish. They really are. The funny thing is, like, I don't know. You know me, Strap. You know when I play a party or any event, I have, like, my own flow to it. And I try to go with the flow. And it's really weird. Because once, like, one kid requested something, it's like the floodgates just opened. Because before that, I was playing a good mix of, you know, modern top 40 stuff, and everybody was dancing, doing their thing. I mean, I was mostly background music. I wasn't really the party. But anyway, once somebody requested something, like, all of a sudden, like, 20 people requested stuff, and then, to me, the flow of the party just went out the window, because now I'm playing, like, 20 different kids' songs, and I'm playing, like, Nirvana. Like, I played Smells Like Teen Spirit, then I went from that to, like, some rap song. Like, it just completely lost the flow, which, I mean, I know they don't care about. Maybe I'm just kind of critiquing it too much. What do you mean you don't have Crank That Spider-Man? Yeah, it really was stuff like that. It was like, do you have, like, Spider-Man's undergarments? Like, they wanted me to play something called TikTok Theme 2021, which, like, I know TikTok is the app, but what was I going to say? I know TikTok is, like, that app or whatever, but, like, what's the theme song for TikTok? And why am I playing it? Like, people just think I have, like, every theme song ever made. It's like, don't you guys, like, live on your phones anyway? You just want me to play music from your phone? Like, I don't know. That's just me. Anyway, I see we got a few viewers here. I got you, man. But, hey, that's not a lie. Every time people create the super team, yeah, they do complain about it. And honestly, I think they should. I mean, I guess if it's your team that's the super team, which, you know, you're a Miami Heat fan, so you know what that's about. I guess then you don't mind because your team is expected to win the finals. And there's kind of like, you know, people trying to make it out to be like, oh, there's all this pressure, you know, like it's not that easy to make a super team because then everybody expects you to win. Like, come on. I mean, if the Celtics made a super team like that, I'd get over it. Like, if, you know, it's like, oh, the Celtics better win this year. Because I liked the Celtics, and I was mentioning that. I never did finish that point. Like, how I'm kind of frustrated with the Nets because they basically just took the easy way out. You know, as a Celtics fan, part of the fun of being a Celtics fan these past 5-10 years or so has been watching the Celtics build from, you know, a non-contender to a contender, you know, getting these little pieces to put around them and kind of getting your hopes up. And then a team like Brooklyn, who literally mismanaged their team for 6 years, goes ahead and gets Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant and James Harden, and now they're good to go. And same thing with the Lakers. You know, the Lakers were pretty garbage until they, you know, obviously got LeBron there, and then they got AD with them. So it's like, that's all you have to do, basically, is just, you know, lure two of the best players in the league to your team, and it's just kind of crap, you know, when you're trying to build a team, and, you know, the Celtics are trying to build a team, and it's, you know, it's had its ups and downs, but, yeah, no, I will admit that I do get mad about super teams because it takes away the competitiveness of the league. You know, you get one or two teams that are, like, in it for the finals, and, you know, the other teams just kind of have to suck it up and deal with it. But, I mean, I don't want to just talk Celtics, but so far the majority of this rant has been Celtics. And that's fine. You know, like I said, we got some people here. I don't know who that guy was that mentioned the mall tour, but I did want to get to the mall tour for at least a little bit. The guy who said that, like, there's a rival mall tour company. And that's fine, because in case you guys don't know, and I've mentioned this ad nauseum, Mall Tour 2020/2021 is the final season. Mall Tour 2021 kicking off in March, officially started what I'm calling the final stretch, and it's been very exciting. It's finally starting to hit me, and I don't want to give away anything, but there are literally, you know, again, I'm not going to give the number, but there are single digits. That's how few more mall tours there are left. That we are under 10. And that's really something, you know. It's been a long run, and I didn't even really realize it, because, you know, over the last 5 or 6 years, you know, there's my Christmas videos, there's, you know, other videos, like the mall tour has just been in the background of my channel for so long. It's been kind of woven in with what Bobby Productions is, you know. There's, like, always a mall tour video coming out every few months, it seems like, you know, during the summer of all those years. And, you know, for that to be ending this year, at the end of this year. All things, provided go well, there's no more major pandemic events. That's not a small thing. Like, that is, going to be monumental. And so every mall tour that I've been on, and this goes back to last year too, but especially this year, every mall tour that I go on, I treat it like very, I don't know, very significantly. Not that I ever didn't, but, the mall tour has been, just a lot to me over the last, 5 years, and it's starting to sink in now that this is the final run. This is it. And I'm going to just enjoy every stop of it. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos. I recently released 2 of them, Crossgates Mall and Poughkeepsie Galleria. And we're kind of getting to that point now where, we're really going to see, again, not that we haven't seen, but we're going to really see some of the bigger malls on this tour. We're going to see what this really has to offer, because Mall Tour 2020, as you guys know, kind of became a mulligan with the whole COVID thing, but it also ended up becoming a really good time. I had no idea that I'd end up going on 13 mall tours last year. I'm really proud of what we accomplished. John Lee, Angela, different people who were in the role just with the mall tour. So happy. My friend Michael Dan, I'd say somewhere around July last year when we went to Danbury with Michael Dan, that's when I kind of realized the mall tour was in good hands. Whatever happened, and again, I've kind of been waiting, any second now for something to go wrong, so to speak, when it comes to the pandemic or whatever, but it seems like we're on the other side of that. So, fingers crossed, this is going to be an excellent finale. This is going to be the send-off that the mall tour deserves, and that's kind of the important thing to me, is that whatever happens, when I look back at this years from now or even months from now, because it's, like I said, life moves so fast. And, the mall tour, it ended technically in 2010, and then it came back in 2015, so, nothing's impossible, but, I don't take these things for granted. So, the final mall tours are going to be just, so much fun. And I guess my only hope is that the videos can also match that intensity, which is hard to do, only because, it's kind of more of an emotional thing, but I hope that when people watch them, they realize just how much fun I have doing this. Whether we're going to New York or Massachusetts, wherever we're going for different mall tours. I've had some great memories. Of course, I mentioned Emerald Square Mall, one of my favorites that I went to last year for the last time. And I know I had mentioned in a rant last year that it's possible I could return to Emerald Square Mall this year. That's likely not going to happen. I think last year, as I don't want to say disappointing, but as lackluster as it was at times because of the pandemic, speaking specifically of Emerald Square Mall, from what I understand, it hasn't really gotten much better in that regard. They haven't really opened up that much more. Massachusetts, unfortunately, is very strict with their COVID guidelines, which is fine, We still got to see it. Still a good time. Emerald Square Mall, that one mall that I always go to, every single mall tour. Usually with different people every time. Last year, my friend Dane even appeared on a mall tour, and that was the one there. His second mall tour, first since 2009. And, yeah, we are losing viewers fast. We're losing viewers, and I have not gotten a comment in a while, so I'm just kind of rambling, like I said. Feel free to stop me anytime. I do have a few topics I want to get to, and I'm just kind of running through them real quick. The Celtics thing, I noticed, got a lot of mileage, and, we can still keep talking about that, but I feel like I kind of covered it pretty well. But just talking about the mall tours, kind of remembering last year and how this year has started pretty strong, really strong actually. There's a couple more mall tours that I have yet to post that are really excellent without spoiling anything, and that will continue. What do we got? Massachusetts is 100% open now. That's great. Yeah, I know that Fenway Park is now having full capacity. In fact, Game 4 of the Celtics series infamously had full capacity. Of course, that maybe didn't end well in retrospect, but yeah, no, I'm glad to hear that. Again, that has nothing to do with me going to or not going to Emerald Square Mall again. I just feel like last year's mall tour was enough of it. Emerald Square, we've been on it. We've been to Emerald Square every year. Since going back to Mall Tour 2009, it's been on every Mall Tour season. So, Mall Tour 2021 is confusing because it's not a new season. I know it sounds like it is, but it's not really a sequel to last year. It's actually a continuation. That's why I've carried through the logo, the music. It's all very much the same, and that's done on purpose because, Mall Tour and I'm calling it 20/21. Mall Tour 2021 is like the finale, the continuation of the finale from last year. I know, it's really weird. Like, even when I hit Crossgates Mall this year, it was the 14th stop, but the first stop of 2021. So, for all intents and purposes, we're just going to go from where we left off last year. And that's what we're going to do. So, I mean, I already have the remaining Mall Tour schedule. Some people do know it. Some people in this very chat might even know it. And it's not as long as you think. But there are some really good malls on there. I'm looking forward to it. I guess the only sticking point will be the logistics of it all. But, that's what it's going to be. Hopefully, I want to do another Net Gains episode probably in September or October. And hopefully by then I'll be talking about all the great mall tours we went on during the summer, because that is kind of the plan going forward. We got another comment here. I'll put my predictions for Suns versus Nets in the NBA Final. I really don't know. I think we can agree on the Nets. They seem to be the best team in the East. It wouldn't shock me if the Sixers are on their way in there, maybe even the Bucks. It's kind of funny because the Milwaukee Bucks are always kind of this championship contender that never actually contends. Like, they always have Giannis, and they're always one of the best top 3 teams in the league, but then the playoffs come and they usually lose in 5 games in the Eastern Conference Finals or whatever. But we'll see what happens this year. I'm still going to stick with the Nets. I could see the Suns making it. That would actually be a really good story, because I feel like a lot of people discounted the Phoenix Suns this year. They were like, oh, they're a good little startup team. They had a good, well, not a good season, but they had a decent season last year, and then this year they had a really good season. But, I mean, the Suns are constantly getting disrespected. I mean, they're the number 2 seed in the West, which the Western Conference has a lot of good teams. They're the number 2 seed. They played consistently all year. And people are like, oh, well, the Lakers can still beat them. And I'm not saying they can't, but, the Lakers are not the same Lakers that won the title last year. So I think the Suns have a realistic shot. Emerald Square Mall is about 40 minutes from me. Yeah, no, it's a great mall. I don't know about the Clippers, even if they beat Dallas. Yeah, like I said, the Clippers to me are iffy, but I'm kind of like with the Bucks. I feel like the Clippers are due at some point. The Clippers are always knocking on the door. They got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. They every time I think they're done, they get good players. It's not like they don't try. They're almost like the opposite of the Celtics. They get the superstars, they just don't get that far. The Celtics kind of play it safe, and up till this year, they made it pretty far. I love Emerald Square. Kawhi and some good players on their side. I still don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't trust them either. But I mean, at some point, like I said, if you don't trust them now, I mean, who else can they get? The Clippers, are they going to get LeBron? I mean, the better teams in the West, and assuming the Lakers don't advance, which it looks like they might not, the Suns are still kind of inexperienced. The Utah Jazz are the number 1 seed, but it doesn't really feel like it. They're having a tough time with the Grizzlies. I don't even know who else is in the playoffs right now. I know it's Denver, Portland. I just feel like it's going to be an interesting Western Conference Finals either way. I think it's going to be, who are the top 2 teams? I think it's going to be the Nets and the Sixers in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then we'll see what happens from there. But it's going to be tricky. I'm going to be rooting against the Nets. I'm just going to put that out there right now, no matter how far they get in the playoffs or the finals. I'm just going to be rooting against the Brooklyn Nets, because I hate Kyrie. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of Kevin Duran either right now, with the way he's becoming sort of a LeBron type. Let's see, what else we got here. But yeah, it's kind of funny. We had a little rush of viewers in the beginning, and now it's kind of just been, I don't know, if the Celtics talk scared some people away, but right now we are sitting on 2 viewers, and like I said, it's a really nice day out. So I'm glad I was able to do this today. I do have some other topics I'd like to cover, which are kind of more specific to me personally. As I mentioned, we're going to be talking a little bit of gaming, music. Speaking of music, I even have my guitar here. I'm not saying I'm going to play it, but it is here as an option. Just because me playing guitar was something that started with the first episode of Net Gains. Just the mere mention of the guitar sent somebody packing, down to 1 viewer now. And speaking of gaming, as I mentioned again, my Twitch channel has really taken off. And by taken off, I mean I do a lot of stuff on it. Doesn't mean people watch it, but it's there. And on that Twitch channel, you can find a ton of stuff from yours truly, Chaos Blur. And tomorrow around 5 o'clock, we got Retro 33, a brand new episode of that For those of you who don't know, Retro Request Party is my one-of-a-kind show in which I play games from yesteryear. Based on your votes, I have like 5 different games to pick from, and it's a lot of fun. I've put some of the episodes on YouTube. In fact, I put all the episodes on YouTube if anyone's interested in seeing what that's about. So that, you know, that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. So today, like I said, this is my first episode of Net Gains in a long time. I thought it was important to do it just because, like I said, so much stuff has happened. 2 mall tours that we know of have happened already, with a few more to come. And this summer is going to be, it's going to be loaded with stuff to do. Between the mall tours, different DJ jobs, like this really feels like a return to form. It's kind of funny with the pandemic and everything, not that that was funny, but it seems like 2019 was like 5 years ago. Like it was only like, you know, a year or 2 ago. But it feels like 2019 was so far apart, like, you know, where things were really active and going, and really I think 2018 was the last really active summer I had. And I don't know if this year will be that active, but, you know, it will be nice. It'll be a little stressful at first, but it will be nice to get back to doing weddings, DJing, and also doing little trips in between. I hope to see some of my friends from other states. You know, there's a lot going on, a lot that I wasn't able to do last year that I'm hoping to do this year. Like I said, I'm going to keep up on my streaming on Twitch. There's always new content on my YouTube channel. I'm never going to stop with that, whether it's mall tours, whether it's whatever. And we're back up to 2 viewers. That's pretty good. I guess, I don't know, maybe since I didn't pick up the guitar this time, I got another viewer back. But yeah, no, I'm open for whatever. Where in your house is this? Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Quaffle. This is, I can't really show much of it, but this is outside the sliding glass door here outside. This is an enclosure, so I can feel the weather, which it is very nice weather. But no, you've never seen this room because this is a new room. It's really fun. There's a table in here. There's obviously this little swinging chair that my friend Randy commented on already. It's a nice place to hang out when it's nice weather out, to eat, just watch stuff. And that's why I'm out here now, because I thought it would be a great idea. And I'm obviously a big fan of this room, so thank you for asking that, because I did mention that in the beginning, but otherwise I haven't really talked much about it. So this is the YouTube debut of this room, so I'll enjoy that. Looks great on the camera from what I can tell. No, yeah, that's the thing when I do these YouTube live streams. I try to look at the camera as much as I can, but then I end up coming over here, and then I kind of like lean into the laptop, and I'm like kind of doing stuff over here, and it's like, what the heck is he doing? It's whatever. Now we're down to 1 viewer, so obviously they don't care about the room. This is really kind of fun. Fine, really fun room. Where's my invite? Do you want to come? It could be like that time John Lee showed up in the middle of my Christmas stream. But yeah, I'd say we talked enough Celtics for a while. I could talk some Red Sox, but I'm not really... I mean, I'm not, like, against the Red Sox, but, like, I don't really know what to say about them at this point. I was going to talk some gaming. Might be a good time to do that now that Quaffle's here. Of course, you guys know I'm in for some Sonic the Hedgehog news, and we finally got some from the Sonic Central that Sega released not too long ago. Again, this is something I did a rant on as well. But I like to do these rants kind of live, obviously, so that I can get people's reactions. I can read them and respond to them in real time, so it's not just me talking with nobody answering. So, you know, the Sonic Central that was released, I think May 27th, was, I'm at work right now. Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Oh, we got 4 viewers. Hey, what are you drinking? What's up, X? I am drinking Mountain Dew Maui Burst. I don't know how that shows up on the label, but, yep, I am enjoying myself right now. Quaffle is not, because he's at work. What was I going to mention? I was talking about the Sonic Central. I was about to talk about the Sonic Central. I know it sounded like in my initial review of it that I was kind of like meh about it. But then I actually I watched another YouTuber's perspective on it that kind of changed my perspective on it. Which was like, basically like, first of all, what did we really expect, meaning Sonic fans? And also like, what didn't they give us? Like, Sega's not just going to release a video and say, here's the name of the game, and here's what it's going to be, and, you know, whatever. Ooh, fancy. It is fancy. I've had many a Mountain Dew in my my videos. I feel like this gets more attention than the actual video. How are you? Oh, I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking. How are you doing today? Very nice weather here. Actually, as I mentioned previously, I DJ'd this morning. I even have a little sunburn to show it. I don't know if that shows up on the video, but it was a fun one. Talk about Garfield. I'm not talking about Garfield. So for some reason, Quaffle Boy, who goes by a different name on Twitch, feels the need to go on my Twitch streams and tell me to play Garfield, or gets mad that I'm playing Garfield even if I'm not. You know, because when you think of Garfield, the iconic orange cat, you think of freaking video games. And yes, there are some video games, and I've considered getting them just as a joke to you, but then I decided to save my money. But yeah, of course, Bex, du hast diese Stand dort schon gesehen. This is not your first rodeo in here, but this is my my outdoor room, my outdoor hideout, if you will. And yeah, Garfield for the win. I enjoy the comics of Garfield. I mean, from what I understand, in fact, Quaffle Boy, didn't you send me that article where it's like you can get like the Garfield kart racing games for $2, but don't, like, that's not a good sign. But no, like I said, I feel like I'm repeating myself to everybody that shows up. DJ this morning, Celtics, blah blah blah, etc. Sonic Central, which is the kind of Sega version of Nintendo Direct, was what it was. Like I said, I've kind of changed my opinion on it a little bit, only because now people are mentioning that maybe it was a teaser for E3, and maybe at E3 Sega shows off more of that new Sonic game, or maybe they show off something, because, you know, already more stuff is coming out about Colors Ultimate. That game's coming out in like 3 months, and I'm excited about that. The more that I watch about it, the more I remember how much I actually really like Sonic Colors, so I'll be streaming that on my YouTube channel, on my Twitch channell. I probably should stream it here, because I actually get more viewers on YouTube than Twitch, but that's another story. Yeah. What's going on, Bex? I've always enjoyed that logo of yours, the kind of like sharp hair logo with the eyes and stuff. So yeah, mark your calendars for September 7th. That's when Sonic Colors Ultimate releases, so sometime around there I'll be streaming that on Twitch. But tomorrow, as I mentioned like 20 times, tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be starting Retro 33. I keep hitting this stupid guitar. So I know it doesn't really show up in the shot, but there is a guitar literally right here. And what the heck, I'll pick it up. Literally right here. I don't know why. I do this from time to time, and I just will pick this up and start playing it. Hey, Bird original. Oh, he did do that? Okay, for some reason I always thought that was Caddy. Just because Caddy usually does the more digital stuff, and like Bird does the more cartoony stuff. But no, that makes sense. Again, I like how it's all kind of matrixy. Obviously goes with your Twitch identity. Speaking of which, when are we going to see the next? We're going to see the next Bex Twitch video. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Speaking of Bird, play Free Bird the Spanx. Oh sure, let's just like get on that real quick. Like a little. Man, this is why this part of the show never lasts. That was Bobby Gage, everybody. I think last time I actually like debuted some music I had written, and I really haven't written anything new since then, so I don't really have anything new to show off. Twitch to know, never. I don't know. I like you on Twitch, but it is all good. I could see why, you know, might not want it. Close. Yeah. Solos are really hard to play, obviously, especially when you don't have the song playing in the background, so I don't even know what the chords would be, so I'm just like, something like that. I think Quaffle's gone. I think they're all gone. But yeah, so, not to spoil it for anybody, but it does appear the name of the new Sonic game will be Sonic Rangers. It seems that Sega's going for an open world feel, which I am very skeptical of for the new Sonic game. Literally in the style of Breath of the Wild, if I am to believe the leaks. Which I actually kind of do, just because of some of the things that line up. YOLO Cooper. Don't mention Cooper right now. I'm trying to do a stream here. Quaffle. I guess you could say he was doing one too. You step on a cat. I really did not step on a cat. It's funny because my cat could come out here. The door's open. This is an enclosed area outside, but he never comes out here. I really thought he would like it out here. It's a nice warm area. Like I said, you still get the weather, but you don't, have to deal with the rain or anything. If it rains, it's all screened in, but whatever, Meine Katze kommt nicht. I don't know what to tell you. But, yeah. What are you doing, Quaffle? You still at work? Can't be working too hard. You're on here with me. Yeah, I'm doing some work. I mean, this is almost like work. God. What is happening? What else is happening? I've already talked about the mall tour. Got a few more of those coming up soon. This freaking cushion keeps screwing up with me. All I can say is Bex must be bored if she's on the stream. Oh, we got someone else here. We got Kenny here. What's going on? I'm the same with you. I don't trust the Kyrie because they're still... You've mentioned that a couple times with the LeBron thing, and I don't know what you're getting at. Like, do you think there's like a conspiracy that they're gonna like join up with LeBron, or LeBron's gonna join them? I know they're friends with LeBron James, but I don't understand like what that has to do with the Brooklyn Nets. To be honest, like, maybe LeBron gave them the idea, but then why would LeBron want another team that could compete with him? I don't know, but yeah, I'm kind of done with LeBron. Kind of done with all those guys. The Celtics are really done. And I don't know where they go from here, but I guess the former coach, now GM, Brad Stevens, is going to have to figure it out. So that should be fun. Who wants to talk some hockey? Because I got nothing. I know the Bruins are in the playoffs, but I got nothing. What else we got here? Bex played video games with me. That was random. Well, you do both have Switch. I don't know what games you have in common, but you both have Switch. And I know Quaffle finds it hilarious, by the way, when you tell me to restart games if I don't 100% the level. Like I don't know why. He just finds it just ever so funny. That is truly the greatest, cleanest pleasure, whatever that friggin' means. I don't know. I just say things I hear. Oops. There we go. But yeah, Bex does enjoy a good video game. But again, I don't know if you guys have any games in common, per se. Quaffle, what have you been playing lately? I know. Oh, Quaffle just got a PS5, by the way, and you turned it into Kaiba, didn't you? Well, sort of. Pretty sad when your console can be turned into a freaking Yu-Gi-Oh character. Okay, I'm moving this guitar because right now it's just proving to be a barrier and not a very productive one at that. So yeah, the Sonic Central, like I mentioned, I wasn't like... I don't know what I was expecting, is what I'm getting at. And I'm hoping they show some more gameplay of Sonic Rangers, because I'm calling it that until they tell me it's called something else. Some people have mentioned that, like, maybe Sega's just trolling us the same way Marvel did with all the Spider-Man names, like Spider-Man No Way Home or Home Wrecker. They had, like, all the fake names of the Spider-Man movie before they finally revealed it. So maybe Sonic Rangers is purposely, like, a misleading name, because like they really kind of gave it away, did Sega. Like they really said like, oh, oops, the game's called Sonic Rangers. It's like, but is it really? And then how does that incorporate with that weird pattern we see in the video? Like I just don't get it personally. PS5 as of right now is so inferior to Well, that's what you've been telling me. Hey, wait, Gaines, I have a first name, but anyway, MVP season that's coming out, I have many people say, where did Steph Curry come from with this one? Again, I'm not sure what you're getting at, but I'm guessing you want me to guess who the MVP will be this season? I have heard that Steph Curry should be MVP. I think that the reason people say that isn't necessarily that he's like the best player, but that he like really carried the Warriors. I think they ended up missing the playoffs technically, but they made it further than anybody thought. So, Steph Curry played out of his mind this year. I don't know how many points he averaged, but I think it was over 30. Obviously, like the best three-point shooter of all time, Steph Curry. So, in terms of MVP, I think Steph Curry's a legitimate candidate. In fact, I think they announced the candidates. I think he is one of them. But who do I think should win it? That's hard to say. Like, I know I've even heard some people say James Harden should win it, but like, I don't know. That would be weird, just because James Harden got to the Nets kind of later in the season, and he even missed some time. And the Nets were also expected to be good, and he's like the third best player. Honestly, Steph Curry's not the worst pick you could have with this season, just the way it's gone. Like Russell Westbrook, maybe if the Wizards had done better. Maybe you could make a case for him, but I really don't know. I don't want to say Giannis just because I feel like Giannis wins the MVP every year. I mean, it's kind of a safe bet. You know what? I'm going to go off book here, and I'm going to say Joel Embiid. I think he really stepped up his game this year. Of course, the Sixers have been a contender for the past few years, but I think Joel Embiid actually stepped up his game enough to get significant MVP consideration. But really, any of those names I just mentioned could win MVP. Steph Curry, Embiid, Giannis, maybe Harden, maybe Durant. I really don't know. I don't know if Durant even played enough of the season to really qualify, but I mean, it's not, when you ask where did Steph Curry come from as far as like, it's a surprise, I actually don't think it's a surprise that he's up for MVP because, one, he's already won a couple MVPs. He plays as an MVP. Another one I don't want to see winning is LeBron. I just feel like that would be too predictable, and I don't think LeBron had like really an excellent season. He had a pretty good season, but I don't think, especially with how things are going with the Lakers now, I don't think he really carried the team because I feel like that's what an MVP should do. It's not just about being a good player, it's about kind of carrying your team. That's why it's most valuable player, not most talented player. Because if it was most talented player, LeBron would probably win it almost every year. So, yeah, I think Steph Curry is actually not that crazy of a pick. I'm not saying he wins it, but either way, it's whatever. Looks like we lost Bex. I'm not surprised. I feel like we keep ending up back in the Celtics talk, which I have no problem with it. I love the NBA. I love baseball too, but you know, I am trying to kind of stay out of track of kind of like gaming, you know, games that are coming out. There are a couple other games that are coming out that are kind of, I don't know, I call them like retro revival titles, like, what is it, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, I think looks really good, and I'm really, really happy that's coming out on Switch. I assume it's coming out on the other consoles too, but I love, as somebody who loves Turtles in Time and the old TMNT Brawlers, like, I'm really looking forward to that one. I've heard that it's got, like, a lot of new stuff to kind of accommodate people who, you know, don't want to play a game from the 90s, because, you know, I love retro games, but they had their flaws, and obviously now in 2021 we can put out games that don't have those flaws, but still emulate, you know, the stuff. We need Yassine. No, we do not. We do not need Yassine. You know, I don't like to make predictions, but I kind of feel like this is going to be one of those episodes of Net Gains that kind of peters out after like an hour and a half, if I even get to that point. You know, like I said, it really kind of depends on user interaction at a certain point. And I think the last episode went on for like almost 3 hours. And that was just because people kept going. And right now I'm at about 52 minutes. I've touched on the Sonic Central. It doesn't seem like anybody really has any comments on that. Talked a ton of Celtics, which I kind of plan to, especially with the news coming out today. I mentioned Retro 33 a few times. I'll probably mention it at least one more time before the end. I mentioned the mall tours and how those have just been kind of a machine, honestly. Like, the mall tours have been, like, I can't say enough good things about how the plan has been executed, set up, etc. Like, and that's not an easy thing to do when you're juggling 2 jobs like me and you're trying to, like, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot to juggle. You know, I make the videos, you know, really quick and fun, and it looks like, you know, it's just this really simple thing. It really isn't. Trying to get people together and go on these like 2-3 hour road trips is not, you know, obviously not easy, but it's usually worth it in the end. So you know, the mall tour, you know, that's kind of why I'm like really proud of what we've done. When I say we, I literally mean we. Like, there's been a ton of people who have been on mall tours. I don't think Randy's in the chat anymore, but I keep telling him he should go on a mall tour because he's always talking about it, and there really are only a few left. So get in on it now. That's all I can say. But, no, I go back to the mall tours like from 2016, 17, so on, and I see all the people that have been on at least 1 or 2, and I'm like, wow, like a lot of people have, you know, for better or worse, they've joined this little tradition of mine, and I'm really happy to have had them. And, you know, even though my friend John Lee is literally crushing the competition, he recently went on his 20th mall tour, which is by far the record. Yeah, even though he has, there's still a lot of other people I want to recognize, like Angela, like Frankie, like Corey, Kevin and Ryan, Michael Dan, my other friend John. Like, there have been a ton of people on mall tours. You know, some have been on maybe just 5, some have been on a lot more or less. But I've also had like 70 mall tours. That's not an exaggeration. Since 2009, I've been to 70 mall tours. That's ridiculous. And I've had so much fun, whether it's been stuff like the Cambridge Side Galleria in Cambridge, Mass., whether it's been Palisades Mall in New York, whether it's been Destiny USA in Syracuse. I mean, there's been a ton of stuff. We got a comment here. Let's look for Scott. Oh, that's in bad taste, man. I mean, yeah, maybe Scott will be in this video. Maybe he's actually one of the people with like a different username or something. It does look like we still have 3 viewers, even though this is kind of like Twitch, where the view count is all kind of messed up. But I'm happy for 2 things so far. I'm happy that we have had a decent influx of viewers. I'm kind of waiting for Kevin and/or Ryan to show up. They haven't shown up yet. Almost everybody else has at least chimed in here and there, but yeah, like I said, I'm glad that we've had an influx of viewers. I'm also glad that the internet has not been too spotty, because even though I'm not that far outside, I am away from my router by, I don't know, not a wide margin, but wide enough for it to affect my already lousy internet. So you never know what's going to happen with that. My last retro stream kind of had some hiccups, and I was inside for that, so I wonder if I would ever do a stream outside, like a gaming stream, like hook up a portable GameCube or something. That would be kind of stupid, but I could probably do it. But no, I'm really glad I did this. Actually reminds me of like way back. I don't even remember the year now. Probably like 2006, 2007. I used to do rants outside. Because I've been doing video rants for a long time. This isn't something new. Anybody who's watched my channel from the early days knows that I generally talk. I talk and talk and talk. So I'm like, as long as I'm going to talk anyway, I may as well get some people to talk with me and to me. And, you know, Kenny's been coming up with some pretty good basketball questions. I've been happy to answer those. Randy even had a couple sports questions. I was hoping for a few more gaming questions. I mean, there's games that I don't even know about that are coming out, and I'm always intrigued to learn about those. There's still so many games I have to finish. I just started Horizon Zero Dawn on PS4. That's a really fun game. Nier Automata's been on my to-do list for months now. Of course, I've been playing Kingdom Hearts a little bit more, and I want to get back to that to see what all the hype's about. But yeah, there's a lot of games. See, there's so many games to play already. That's why I don't get like super hyped about the new games, just because it's like I haven't even finished these games I'm playing. Blockbusted talk. Well, if you want to talk Blockbusted, go ahead. I mean, I have no, like I said, I mean, I will talk about anything, well, within reason. But I mean, Blockbusted talk. What do you want to talk about? You know, like I have. Actually, funny. I know that I did promise the Blockbusted quote unquote remake last year. I actually got pretty far into it, and then I kind of reached a point where there's like a lot of just messed up audio and stuff from like part 6 or 7 of the video, and I still got to work on it. I'm hoping I still have the files because I had to change computers since then. This is a new computer. I still have a hard drive that I think has the files on it. I'm hoping it does. But yeah, no, the Blockbusted remake is something I kind of, it's probably going to be something I just do. Like it's just going to kind of come out of nowhere, because I get so sidetracked with other projects that I can't just focus on one, especially one that's that far gone, so to speak. So like I'm trying to kind of focus on, you know, the new Maltor videos, and also the Twitch streams, and also, you know, I have a life. Some people would argue I don't, but I have a real life to manage too. So, you know, the Blockbusted stuff doesn't, you know, it's not really at the top of my list, but at some point, you know, maybe if I finished everything else, I got a little extra time, I'll just kind of put that out there, and that'll be it. But we should just refilm some. That would be so weird, because it would be like, because I mean, like, I'd say like 90% of the movie is fine. Like, I just had to correct a couple things and fix a couple cuts, and of course the wind is just what it is. I actually got some software to try to fix the wind. It doesn't really do a great job, but I mean, even if we refilmed like 3 scenes, like, it would be so weird. First of all, although you don't see Arkaya's face, so Arkaya could still wear the mask and look the same. But, like, we would clearly be, like, 10 or 12 years older now, because that was filmed in 2010. So it would be, like, so weird. Like, most of the movie would be me with my long, shaggy hair and, you know, my old look. And then all of a sudden I'd be like, hey, Frankie, what's up? And then he'd be like, hey, it's not going to be our throats. Like, it would just be like, where'd that come from? And then, like, Ben Toth could just, like, make some burgers on the grill or something and be like, yeah, I'm Pimp Daddy Toth. And then Corey would be in it for some reason, even though she wasn't in the original. But hey, whatever. More the merrier, I guess. But I mean, I don't know what to say about Blockbusted that I haven't already said. I think one of my favorite Blockbusted memories, as far as the original Blockbusted goes, is not from the making of it, but from the watching of it. When my friend Shay Goodbye was watching it live with me. Of course, I had already seen it many times at that point, but he was watching it for the first time, and I was just kind of going along with him and getting his live reaction to everything that happened for him. And he found a few scenes funny that I didn't necessarily think were funny, which is kind of cool. Like, when you write something, you don't know if people will find it funny or not. So he was kind of laughing at stuff I wasn't laughing at. And then he got to the end of the movie, of course, and spoiler alert, he got to the big twist where you find out Ben Drexler was me. You know, I was in the Phantom Mask, and he, like, lost his mind. Like, he's like, oh my god, that was so well written. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like, he said it was my best movie. I don't know if he thought Blockbuster 2 was better, but, like, he said Blockbuster was my best movie. Like, he loved watching it. And I thought that was cool. Like, I've never really watched something I made with somebody who wasn't part of it. You know, like, everybody who's seen my movies generally already knew the movie from being in it. He didn't know the movie. It was his first time watching it. So to him, it was like, it would be like if I made a really popular movie and I was watching it in theaters with people. Like, that's the closest I'm going to get to that. But, yeah, no, that was a really cool moment. And then that's kind of what I try to create in general, and I haven't done a new movie, obviously, in a long time, but even with my streams, like, I want people to have fun, you know? Like, when I think about my streams on Twitch, whether it's Retro Request or whether it's this stream, whatever it is, I want people to tune in. I want them to want to tune in. Like, I want them to be like, hey, you know, Bobby's on. He's doing something crazy, because that's me. Like, I watch other streamers. I watch other people. I don't want to say I idolize anybody, but like I watch other content creators, and I want to be among that group, and obviously I am among that group because I've made over almost 2,000 YouTube videos now, and the Twitch streams keep on coming. I do about 15 of those a month. I've got a few Twitch streams coming up specifically for the Sonic 30th anniversary. I plan to stream the entire game of Sonic Adventure 2 in one day, so that might be like a 5 or 6 hour stream. I'm going to do the Hero Story, Dark Story, and Last Story all in one stream. I want to do that around June 23rd, of course, which is the 30th anniversary of Sonic. I want to stream Sonic Heroes at some point this year, and then, of course, Sonic Colors Ultimate when it comes out, because I wanted to stream Sonic Colors anyway, so I may as well stream the new one. And, I mean, that's just a few ideas for things. I might even stream Sonic Omens if I find a way to get it to run on my computer. So, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. In general, the news has been good to me in terms of things that I'm interested in. What's up? Try some Tostitos lemon. Wow, this is a really random one. Try some Tostitos lemon chips with the salsa and guacamole. Guacamole tastes a little familiar. I'm not. Is that a question or a statement? Like, I'm not a big guacamole person. Like, I've only had guacamole a few times. I've never really cared for it. But are you telling me it tastes like something familiar, or are you like you want my opinion? Like, I don't know. I have not tried this new guacamole of which you speak, but I will take your word for it that it is a familiar flavor. I don't know. Are you getting at like the, because this actually is a thing. I don't know if they made a guacamole, but are you getting at the Mountain Dew Doritos? Because I know that there is a Mountain Dew flavor of Doritos, and I guess there could be like a Mountain Dew salsa or guacamole or something. But anyway, that was neither here nor there. But an interesting point nonetheless. Don't get me wrong. I like Kenny Allen's energy right now. Who are the other people? Like, I remember for my Christmas stream, I had like 9 or 10 people. Not that I was expecting that today. We got a little dose of Bex. We got some strap facts. Randy checked in. No John Carter yet. No Yassine, thankfully. Quaffles chimed in here and there. Because I'm kind of at that point now where I've, not that I've run out of topics, because there was another thing I wanted to mention, but I'm kind of at that point where, you know, it's going to kind of depend on user interaction, how long this episode goes on for. And if I don't get a lot of user interaction, then we'll likely end the episode, which it is what it is. I've been looking forward to this, and so far it's gone pretty well. Like I was mentioning, you know, with this year, particularly the last month, and that's kind of what prompted me to do this stream, is a lot of news came out on stuff that I'm interested in. Because you guys may not know me entirely, but, you know, there's stuff I'm interested in, obviously like Sonic, but also my two favorite bands, musical bands, Duran and Maroon 5, both announced albums within like a couple weeks of each other. Maroon 5's new album actually comes out June 11th. I'm going to have a rant about that pretty soon. It's called Geordie, named after their former manager who tragically died in 2017. It's got, from what I can understand, a few really heartfelt songs on it, one of them being Memories, which was a single that year, and a couple other songs that I know, and then, of course, the rest of the album. So Maroon 5's got a new album coming out literally June 11th in like 2 weeks. Like, that to me is just shocking. Like, that was quick. That came up super quick. It does ranch right up there, I suppose. I don't know if you're making a joke about that quote that never happened, or the fact that he mentioned guacamole and now you're just going to say ranch. But either way, we will see. I have mixed feelings. Like, I am excited for the new Maroon 5 album. I'm actually more excited that Duran and Maroon 5 are both having albums within like a few months of each other. That has never happened since I've been following both bands. So Duran, of course, You know, they're known for their 80s stuff, the iconic boy band of sorts, but they do so much more. And I really love their modern albums. I'm very excited to see what they put together this year. Of course, this album was supposed to come out last year, but because of COVID, it got delayed, as so many things did. And that's kind of the weird thing, like, because it's been so long, because COVID really messed with everybody's lives, like, it's like everything's coming back at once now. Like, it's not even like a segmented thing. It's like we went from nothing to, like, everything. Like, all these big bands and all these big game companies are making all these announcements now, because now they can. You know, like, now the kind of cloud of COVID has lifted, hopefully. The cloud is lifted, and now it's like the floodgates are open, and we're getting all these announcements. So it is exciting, and that's another reason I wanted to make this stream, was to talk about some of that stuff, because I didn't really want to do an episode of Net Gains unless I had things to talk about, obviously, because it's kind of a talk show. That's really all this is. This isn't a gaming show, although we talk gaming, but it's not like a gaming thing. You know, there's no action there. It's basically, you know, people ask questions or nothing happens. And I've had some episodes where nothing happens. So already we've kind of hit my goal, which was to do about an hour. It's already been a little over an hour. But, no, it's... There's a lot to get into. Duran released their single recently called Invisible. Really cool, kind of like gritty sounding 80s song with that kind of like heavy beat and just like crazy funky guitars. Like, I don't know. It gives me an idea of what to expect, but I know Duran too well. I know that the rest of the album might sound nothing like it, or it might sound a lot like it. So, same thing with Maroon 5. I really don't know what to expect from this new album. I know my friend Shay Goodbye loves their new single, Beautiful Goodbyes. I think it's decent. Is it Beautiful? No, Beautiful Mistakes. Beautiful Mistakes. He loves that song. And it's a good song, but I'm still skeptical. And again, I'll talk about that in a future rant. I know they're planning to do like a virtual concert this Friday that it was going to feature songs from the album. I'll see what I think about that. If I watch it, maybe I won't, maybe I will. I don't know. Maroon 5 album day used to be like a holiday for me. Like when Maroon 5 released albums back in the day, it was like, you know, like holy crap. Like I used to like wake up early, go to the store, get it, and just go nuts. So we got some more people here. Let's see. Your reach is better than mine. Anytime I do anything, I get like 12 dislikes. Well, you get 12 dislikes, so that means, what do you say? If you get 12 dislikes, that means 12 people are watching at least. No, it is weird. My my YouTube streams do get more viewers than my Twitch streams. Now, not significantly more, but I do occasionally get 5 or 6 viewers. But more than the viewers, I just like that people comment. Like, I don't care if there's one viewer, as long as I'm seeing comments. Like, right now, I'm seeing comments filling in here. When I'm on Twitch and I'm streaming for 2-3 hours or whatever, and I got, like, no comments or 40 minutes, it gets really dull. And yeah, I'm still talking, but it gets really dull just talking to myself for 40 minutes, waiting for Randy to say, hey, that's great, and that's it. Like, that is not really doing it for me. So we got a couple things here. StrapFax is back in the show here. Took a phone call, I pressed pause, catching up. I don't know how far behind you were, but I hope you didn't watch the whole thing. Otherwise, you probably just heard a bunch of crap. Skip the past 12 minutes, and now I'm in the now. All right, well, welcome back, Strap. I did talk about the mall tour for a bit, but you're welcome to ask some questions and whatnot. I will go ahead and say, because like nobody's watching this really, and the people that are watching it already know, I've got a mall tour coming up this Sunday, which will be a really big one. Of course, I say that about all of them now because they all are really big now because we are getting down to the nitty gritty. So we got that. The birds are trying to get in here. I don't know why. I do kind of like this background ambience, if you will. Let's see, what do we got here? Hey, that's great. Time to restart the stream. That would be funnier if Bex was still here, but she's not. Hey, that's great. Yeah, that's the thing, you know, like, and I am looking forward to Retro Request tomorrow. And I really do hope, even though he's not here right now, I hope that Randy does tune in to Retro 33 tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I'm going to be geared up for that. I'll also be working that morning, so kind of like today. But, yeah, when you haven't streamed in a while, let alone these live streams, like with the blogging, you do miss it. And I miss doing this, so I'm glad I was able to do it for a little while today. Like I said, kind of touched on everything to some degree. If anybody has any further questions or comments or things they want to see, I'm certainly game for that. Bobby Birdman, of course, you know, Quaffle adding his own personality. Must be a slow day at work, because you've been commenting like crazy, not that I mind. But no, there's a lot here. Kenny Allen's asked some real hard-hitting questions. B. Mark offering some insight on Massachusetts opening policies. And other than that, been kind of the same old, same old. Mentioned the Celtics. I think we spent a good 30, 40 minutes on the Celtics alone, which is most of the stream. And then, of course, I kind of waxed poetically about the mall tour and how much it's meant to me. And, the last mall tour that I released, which was the Poughkeepsie Galleria, that was a really fun one just to go to and also to make the video for. I thought it was really, like, I don't know, just some good old fun. Can you get me a Retron HD for... No. I'm also not sure what a Retron HD is. I know Retron's made a number of products. You mean Retron 5 like I have? Because that is HD. Talk about the Bobby Boulder program. Okay, so the Bobby Boulder program, which is not a real thing. It's literally an Adobe program. I'm not even sure why it's the Bobby Boulder program, because I never said Bobby in that video. That's from an old video where I made like it was the Christmas 2014 logo. And that was a cool video, by the way, called Behind the Logo. I was going to make more of those, and then I just got lazy. But, yeah, I mentioned something about using my Adobe program, which for some reason you think I said Boulder program. I don't know what a Boulder program is. No, I work in IT. I'm always on the computer. Well, that's convenient. That's like me in, like, every college class where it's like, well, why are you on the computer? Well, I have to be. Like, every class is on the computer. But no, this... yeah, no, it's funny how many old videos you've referenced, Quaffle. Of course, you've been around for a while in the Bobby Productions fray, so you've seen a lot of my stuff from 2010 on, which is a long time, obviously. God, it's hard to believe. A lot of this stuff is 10, 12, 13 years old now. Like, I can still remember making Crash Daniels, and I had the 2019 10-year anniversary of that, and that was 2 years ago now. And, now I'm to the point where, like, I'm celebrating anniversaries of stuff. Are you aware of June? Yeah, go ahead and tell me, because I don't think I am. I think I might have glimpsed at it briefly, because, again, this is like, what, June 2nd? Like, it's literally just now June. I don't think I've even used my PS4 this month yet, so I'm not aware of them. Are there any good ones? Anything I should be on the lookout for? Because 9 times out of 10, they're, like, just games, like, just kind of obscure indie games, but not that I mind those. What do we got here? Virtual Fighter? Hold on, talk about why you don't do the Christmas draft. If you really want me to talk about that, I will. Virtual Fighter, I assume you mean Virtual Fighter 5, because that would be freaking awesome. I know that wasn't, I would totally freaking play that game. Star Wars Rogue Squadron, I'm not really sure what that is. Obviously it's a Star Wars game, but I mean, I'll get anything for free. So, Frankie actually just asked me, or I'm sorry, Quaffle Boy, just asked me why I don't do the Christmas draft. And that's an interesting question. And also a lot of people don't know what that is. But that's an interesting question because I actually still do it. I just don't say it. Like, I don't call it the Christmas draft. I don't make a video about it. But I still do it. Like, it's still... All it is like, what are some things I want for Christmas? I mean, it's not as advanced as it used to be, but it's still there. I just dropped my cap. Well, that's gone. But anyway, I still do the Christmas draft. The last year I kind of, like, really did it, so to speak, was 2011. That's where I had, like, my Christmas draft 2011 video that was, like, really well produced and all that. And that got a whopping, like, 5 views. So, again, that's another reason I kind of stopped that idea. But, yeah, the Christmas draft, it's really funny and really stupid. The Christmas draft used to have a separate logo from Christmas itself. So I'd have, like, the Christmas 2009 logo and then the Christmas draft 2009 logo. And they were 2 different logos. And so when I would give my parents and my nanny and all these other people Christmas lists, like, they would have on them, Christmas draft, whatever year it was. And yeah, so to answer your question, Quaffles, I still do it, but there's not nearly as many rules as there used to be. It's not nearly as in-depth. But I even have, like, text files from every year that say Christmas draft. Like, there was even a Christmas draft 2020. It says Christmas draft 2020. I just don't really make a big deal about it. Bobby dropped the cap. Time to restart stream. Operation Tango. I don't know what that is. Virtual Fighter Ultimate. So Virtual Fighter Ultimate Showdown. I will definitely check that out. Because that was, I don't know. Christmas draft is a waste of energy. Close the door. Man the seals. Okay. I mean, you're not completely wrong. It was kind of a waste of energy. Like, I used to structure the Christmas draft literally after the NFL draft. Like, there would be like a first-round pick, second-round picks, and so on, and it would be like, who the hell was I doing that for? I have no idea, but it was so advanced. If you go on my Facebook from, like, 2005, 2006, like, I would actually describe in excruciating detail, like the reasoning why I picked any game I picked. I'd be like, this is the number 2 pick because this and this and this. And it was like, it was fun, don't get me wrong, but it was also like 14 years ago, and I just kind of outgrew it, I guess. Shenmue Ultimate question. Okay. First of all, I don't think there... Well, there was a remaster of Shenmue, but I don't think it was called Shenmue Ultimate. Why? You're going to tell me that they're going to finish the story in an anime? Because I already know that. You've made that abundantly clear. Christmas Draft was... It was fun. It was what it was. And like I said, I mean, my Christmas traditions, I think I got enough of them as it is. I've actually added a couple the past couple of years that I think are better than any Christmas draft, so... why are we talking about Christmas in the freaking June freaking stream? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised at this point, but still. Talk about iCarly. Okay. So, iCarly was a TV show that I never watched. I only know Miranda Cosgrove from Drake and Josh. And in that show, she plays, well, in iCarly, she plays a teenage girl making a web show, kind of like me. Except I guess people actually watch her show? I really don't know. I have no idea anything else about the show, except that it's a show about a web show. So that's a little inception there. Yeah, I'm not talking about iCarly. I know it's a popular show, strangely enough. Better iCarly than Demi Lovato. Hey-oh. Yeah, I'm not talking about Demi Lovato. I just... It's almost sad. Like, I know people make fun of celebrities, and, like, you know, they've had these, like, weird things happen to them, like Lindsay Lohan, Demi Lovato, people like that. You know, it's like a running joke, but it actually is sad, you know, that these people had, you know, so much good publicity for so long, and then they just kind of threw it away. Like, Miley Cyrus is another one to an extent. Like, you know, they had so much going for them, so much talent, so much fame, and, you know, I mean, it's a story as old as time, but, you know, then they become a running joke, and they just kind of, they get in trouble, and oftentimes they don't really turn it around. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. So, I mean, like, on one hand, yeah, it's funny and stupid, but it's like, it's also kind of sad that these people kind of threw it away for drugs or whatever. Time to talk about John C. You can if you want. I mean, I'm actually surprised Brian, what's their names? Kevin and Ryan haven't shown up to be like, where's John C.? If you want to talk about him, go right ahead. I'm not going to really do it. I feel like you're kind of baiting me now because you're going to get John to watch the stream just as I go like, John Carter sucks. And it's going to be like awkward for everybody. But I mean, everybody in this chat room knows who he is. He is one of my longest tenured friends. Met him technically in 2nd grade. We didn't really become good friends till 5th grade, but basically, you know, he's been in my life for the better part of, well, my life. At least, I don't know if it's been 20 years, but it feels like it has been. You know, we didn't go to college together too long, a couple years, but, you know, other than that, like, what was he going to say? Like, yeah, I mean, I've known him forever. I'm just saying random things. Yeah, no kidding. But that's fine. That's what the point of this is. John Cena's Fast and Furious. I do enjoy strap facts. Maybe you can give us a strap fact while we're on the topic. Something that only you would know. Fact about strap. Whatever strap is. Like strap the object, or you just strap. I don't know. But I digress. I find it hard to believe that the birds in the background are that loud that they're making my microphone peak that much. Talk about the scripts. Okay, I can't... I know you're reading them, so I don't want to give anything away. I also don't remember most of them, so I probably couldn't give anything away. The scripts, which are just now known as the scripts, they're not even known as anything else, they're just the scripts. There's a lot of them, and he's always writing more of them. And you know what? More power to him, because, you know, they are admittingly well written. I'm just not... It's based on a show that I don't really watch, so I'm just not super into it, but I can admit when it's well written, which it is. And, you know, I don't necessarily like them shoved down my throat all the time, but for what it's worth, they are really good. Like, they're well written. Fact number 1, I couldn't find my pants this morning. I had the same problem with shorts. I found my pants, but when I came home, I wanted to put on some shorts, and I did. But like, I couldn't find, like, a pair that went with this shirt, or a pair that fit, or a pair that wasn't in the wash already. Also, this is random, but, like, I can't find any masks anymore. Like, I don't know what happened. I used to have, like, 10 masks in my car. They're not in the wash. They're not, like, in my pockets. Like, where? I don't know where all my masks went. I've got, like, maybe 3 masks left, and I got to keep, like, rotating them. Like, that's why I'm hoping this mask thing is over soon, because I'm not going to buy another pack of masks just to wear it for, like, another week. Speaking of Scrap, when we go to Palisades this weekend, there is a chance we won't have to wear a mask. Kind of just going on, our friend Trevor, if he wants to, I'm not going to make him feel weird. Like I would wear it in that case, but according to the mall policy, they are not required. So just letting you know about that. I have a script for Lexapro. Okay, I think that's a different kind of script, but again, I appreciate your creativity, as always. So yeah, I'm on as long as you guys will have me. We're at about an hour 20. These usually don't go too long. I feel like this got off to a really good start. We had like 5 or 6 viewers, and since then we've kind of dwindled down to 2. But of course, I know both you guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. And again, this is why I don't do this every month. Like, that's why I'm okay doing it once every few months, because if, it does what it does, it serves the purpose. Like I said, I hope to do one in September or October, where I talk about all the great mall tours we've been on over the summer, because there are some great ones coming up. What's this? Fact number 2, I've never purchased a mask. Is that a real one? Or, what, you got that Yukon one for free? Or you just, I don't know, you're just stealing masks from places? I've actually purchased quite a few. At one point, I was actually going on eBay, to find my Sonic mask, my Mountain Dew mask, and I went a little mask crazy at one point. And like I said, I had so many, and now I can't find them. Like, I've got like maybe 2 left. I miss Bex. They my broski. It'd be really funny if she came back right now, especially since you just called her like a Polish type of name, and she's German, but whatever. You should have a kid-friendly show called I, Bobby. I mean, well, I think I might have sworn like twice in the stream. My shows are generally pretty kid-friendly, though. I mean, I'm not really saying anything offensive. I welcome all ages to the Bobby Productions. Do you have any fat guy memoirs? Isn't that more your thing? I don't know. I mean, the fat guy memoirs, like, is this like something I'm supposed to say about fat people I know, or like times I ate too much? I don't know what that necessarily entails, but I appreciate the creativity of the questions. Fat guy memoirs with Bobby Gaines. One time I was really fat, and then I wasn't. Then I was. I don't know. Bobby would be. What would be the difference between I, Bobby, and what I'm doing right now? You could do a society. I mean, you guys are so. Well, you guys, mostly just you, Quaffle. Like, Society Sucks was a good idea for like maybe a month or 2. I think I've said this like a million times, but I'll say it again. I made those videos like 10 years ago when I was in college. I wasn't happy with how things were going, so I found like pretty much anything to complain about, and that was the premise of Society Sucks. I mean, literally, there's like 5 of them or 6 of them. They're all like the same thing. It's just about how people are jerks and how they just do whatever the latest trend is. It's your typical like jaded, unpopular person thing. Like, people don't like me, so I'm going to complain about it. Like, that's pretty much all it is. It's just a bunch of sour grapes. And I'm even saying that as the person who made it. And that's kind of why I don't want to make it again. Like, it doesn't give off a good impression. Like, I know it's funny. I know it had some funny lines. But, like, it just comes off so much as just a bitter person that, like, didn't get picked for kickball, so he's going to, like, just go nuts on everybody. Like, it just doesn't have a good thing to it. If a woodchuck could chuck wood, would it file for unemployment? Well, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, it would have a viable skill. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it gets hired for that, but that's a very valid question, I suppose. I don't know if you're trying to tie yourself into that question or if you're literally referring to a woodchuck. And what is it with the woodchucks and this obsession with woodchucks, so much so that we have this little limerick about them? I don't know. Take a sip. So I'm gonna, I did a taste test of this a while ago, Maui Burst. In case you guys are wondering why I don't drink this more often. Like, it's very okay. Like, it's a decent flavor. I do wish they'd bring back Whiteout. You all know my feelings on that. Ooh, do we have a 3rd viewer? 3rd viewer, anybody? 3rd viewer? No? Maybe? I don't know. Much like, what I do like about this compared to Twitch is it does tell me the names of the users, even if it doesn't always, like, show all of them. At least it gives me an idea. Twitch is just all over the place. Like, Twitch will tell me I have, like, 5 viewers, and it won't give me the names of any of them. Or it'll say I have, like, 2 viewers, and it'll give me, like, 10 names. Like, it's just really weird. The YouTube count is at least consistent. So, yeah, there's that. Yeah, I mean, this hasn't gotten as many views as I thought it would. I also never think it's going to. Like, I promote these on Facebook and Twitter and this and that, and it's like, if I only have, 20 Twitter followers. Like, I'm not going to get more than 20 people's attention to begin with. Now, funny enough, though, I do have over 650 subscribers on YouTube, so maybe I can strike gold one of these days and get a good number of them to log on at the same time. The thirdest of viewers, Maui Burst Zero Sugar. I think there is a Maui Burst Zero Sugar, actually. They make like a zero sugar version of like almost all of them. Like I said, this flavor is nothing amazing. They only sell it at Dollar General. If they sold it at other places, maybe I'd get it more often, but I forget what the heck I was doing at Dollar General. But I found a 6-pack of it, so I wanted to go ahead and throw that in there. Actually, it's just a statement. I'm just saying, besides, it's kind of whatever. Wait, what? Are we back on the guacamole now? I tried to watch this on my other YouTube channel. I said I needed a channel first. That's weird. Well, that could be a restriction. That could be why I'm not hearing from more people. Because even though I have, well, I guess no, people would have to have a channel to subscribe to me. Because my subscribers get a notification automatically that I'm live, assuming they hit the little bell thing, which I don't know how many of them did. I thought it was kind of random how that guy David's Parm Station or whatever commented once and kind of took off. That's whatever. There's some other people. I'll know their names if I see them. Azureeks is one. Dead Rayman Walking is another username that comments once in a while. So I have like a smattering of fans besides my well-known friends like you guys. I'm rereading comments. Still, it's nice to see the comments coming in though. You should make a real video, the quest for St. Pierre. It's like a blog where you have to say if there's St. Okay, first of all, who am I asking that? Am I just going out on the street asking random strangers like Patrick from that episode of SpongeBob where he goes, "Are you Squidward now?" Like what is the quest? You just made that up. Granted, I actually took it so seriously that I named one of my Final Fantasy streams The Quest for Wayne St. Pierre, which I did as a joke because I kind of knew from the beginning there was no such thing. I do enjoy David Parm Station. That was a real thing. One of the usernames was like David's Parm Station or something. It was like, I don't know if it's a channel about Parmesan cheese or what it is. I like how Randy was here for like 5 minutes. His contributions were like, what do you think of the Celtics? And then like, nice chair. Because I'm in a swinging chair. Which at first I wasn't sure how this was going to work. Because I'm like, am I going to be too far from the camera? Am I going to be too far from the laptop? And, you know, obviously it's worked out fine. The weather is very nice in here. A little hot outside, but a little cooler in here. So I'm having no problems there. Of course, this laptop's already been used quite a bit, because as I mentioned, I DJ'd this morning. But yeah, I do enjoy David Parm Station as well. I guess he was trying to insinuate that there are other mall tourists, like other people who do mall tours, and I kind of knew that. They're not all... I don't want to say I copyrighted the name Mall Tour, but I don't see too many other videos called Mall Tour specifically. I think they call it other things. Ask random strangers if they want to win a date with... Oh, God, do not encourage Quaffle. See, the problem is, like, even though that kind of thing was kind of big, like, in the 90s, maybe even early 2000s, like, that kind of, not even hidden camera, but, like, that kind of style of show where you would do something like that was kind of popular, like, 10, 15 years ago. With COVID and everything, like, it would be, like, people don't want to talk to a random stranger anyway, let alone just to get trolled. It would be like, oh, what a dumb question. But I digress. Unless we don't know who that is. We may never know the identity of David Parm Station. Yes, win a date with David. See, I knew that would get him going. Look at that now. Now we got to settle him down. He's going to be up all night. There. But yeah. Like I said, this has gone on about as long as I saw it going on for. I never know when I do these, because last time I did it, and I thought it was going to be like an hour-long episode, it ended up being like 3 hours. This is going on an hour and a half, which is a long time to talk. It doesn't seem like it, but if I'm not playing a game or having something to occupy myself with, this is a long time to just continuously talk, as we can see from the people who just kind of gave up, like Bex and others who were just like, YOLO, I'm out. But no, I've had a pretty fun week, pretty fun weekend so far. You know, this isn't the weekend anymore, but I had the cookout Memorial Day, a couple streams today, tomorrow, Mall Tour Sunday. Don't know what's going on yet Friday, but a lot of fun stuff, I gotta say. And then I got some weddings coming up next couple weeks. Got another couple field days coming up, because today was the 6th graders field day. And then next week I'm doing the 7th grade. I don't know why I'm telling people this. Next week I'm doing a 7th grade field day and an 8th grade field day. If David Parm Station could chuck wood, does it make a sound? Okay, we are clearly scraping the bottom of the barrel here for topics to talk about. So, I mean, barring me picking up the guitar for no apparent reason again, and I really am running out of ideas here. live from Bobby's weird porch thing. Hey. Oh, that's somebody. Hey, it's Yassine. What's up? I haven't Yassine you in a while. For some reason, I feel like you're not Yassine, but I also don't care. You might be Yassine, or you might not be. Talk about Sonic Racing. Okay, are we talking about Sonic R? Are we talking about Sonic All-Stars Transformed? Sonic's actually had many racing games that make use of his speed and whatnot, and some of them were pretty well designed, and some of them were Sonic R. So, can you make a Red Sox video soon? Okay, you are. You've seen. I could. I was even reluctant to talk about the Red Sox in this video because I just don't really know what to say. Like they're good. They're not like great. Like every time I start to think they're great, they lose some games. Like they're getting kind of killed by the Astros now, and I don't know if the Astros are as good as they were a few years ago. So, I mean, I could. Like, I'm kind of only drawn to two things when it comes to sports videos, and that's when, like, a team is really good or they really suck. Like if I'm really angry or I'm really happy. Like, if I'm going to make a sports video about a team that's, like, pretty good, it just isn't, like, going to be good. It's going to be like, well, Red Sox are pretty good, but I don't know. Like, to me, that's just not... It's not extremely marketable. I'm not saying I won't do it. And the alarm started going off in the background. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it, but, like... Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the personality for it right now. Like, I'm not like, oh, Red Sox are so good. Car alarm's distracting me. I don't know if I'm gonna make a Red Sox video today. For all the lovers out there, looking for a lover. I don't love you either. Hey-o. This thing's falling off the freaking cushion. What should I do? Should I just like stream another hour of me just swinging on this thing? I mean, I can talk about the Red Sox right now if you want. I just don't know what there is to talk about. Oh, lost a viewer. I guess that was probably Yassine getting all ticked off. Still not convinced that's Yassine. I didn't think Yassine's name was actually Yassine1998. I thought he had another username. Like, I thought his username was actually Yassine something else, like his last name or something. But maybe he has more than one account. I don't know. I mean, I know this is Quaffle's doing, so I'm not really worried about that. So yeah, Red Sox videos, I usually do those around, like, I don't know, the trade deadline or the All-Star break or something. Like, I don't really feel the need to do one right now. It's June. I think they're like 10 games or 12 games over 500. They're a couple games behind the Rays. The Yankees are kind of starting to fall back a bit. I think the Red Sox have a good team. I'm not, like, super excited about them just yet. At one time, I kind of was. I kind of had, like, a 2013 feel from the team. I don't really know what to expect from them right now. Friends had a reunion show. Fresh Prince had one. I have no idea. That's a good question, though. I never really watched either of those shows. I actually didn't know Fresh Prince had a reunion recently. In fact, that show's so old. I feel like they had one probably a long time ago, but... Friends ended, what, 2004? And then they finally had theirs. It's pronounced Yachin. I mean, maybe. BG choose. I guess if we're talking reunions, and then there's a few ideas, like maybe like 5 years from now I could do like a mall tour reunion where it's like, and again, it'd be weird because I already talked to everyone who's on the mall tour. Like I could do like a mall tour reunion where it's like myself and John Lee, Angela, Frankie, handful of people who have been on mall tours to kind of talk about their experiences. But see, the thing is, I couldn't do it. I just thought of it. I can't do a mall tour reunion show because Caitlin wouldn't be on it. And Caitlin is like a huge, like, alumni. Like, she would be the reason why you'd have one. Because Caitlin, you know, was the mall tour queen for a few years there. So, yeah, it really wouldn't make sense to do one. Now that I'm saying it out loud. Like, because she'd be the only one that would be a significant return, and she wouldn't return. So, with that in mind, probably like maybe like a blockbusted reunion, but again, there's at least one or two people who wouldn't return for that, like Alex Kuvalanko. Like, where is he now? Like, But yeah, actually, if we could do a Blockbuster reunion, it's been about like 12 years. It's been 7 years since the last Blockbuster movie. I don't think we're getting Rhiannon to come back, though. So, I mean, like, in terms of those reunions, that would be really all I can think of is, like, a Crash Daniels reunion. What, like, have John and Ben Donald come back? Like, yeah, it's a cool idea. I wouldn't be against it. Like, especially since I love my anniversaries, to be like, what do you remember most about Blockbuster? Like, that could be a fun idea. I think you covered the mic on your phone during the last 2 mall tours. Muffled sound even with masks on. I know. And surprised as you, man. Why everybody talked about Christmas. We're not... Are you, like, watching the stream, like, from an hour ago? Because, yeah, we did get into some Christmas talk, but that was mainly because of Frankie. Yeah, I know we're not in December yet. But funny enough, because I've already mentioned I'll probably do another Net Gains in October or September, that'll probably be the time I do a little preliminary Christmas talk. But yeah, obviously I'm not doing Christmas talk other than that little bit there, because I literally, like I said, I was looking for questions to answer, and he kind of just gave me one that was up that alley, so hey, I don't know. I mean, you're talking about guacamole, so I mean, we're really all over the map right now. Yeah, no, that's me. You know, if I have any interest in a topic, and obviously Christmas is a topic I have great interest in, if I have any interest in a topic, I can probably turn it into like a 20-minute rant if I want to. But, yeah. What was I saying before that? The Bobby reunion, like, I feel like, I don't know, it would be a reunion for a reason, because it would be people I don't see anymore, and there's a reason I don't see those people anymore, so... I can't really have a reunion with people like, you know, Frankie and John Lee, who I already see all the time, because that wouldn't be a reunion. It would just be, hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. But yeah, you're saying I have my hand over the mic on the phone? Because, I mean, I'm kind of filming the same way I've been filming for every mall tour, so that shouldn't be like a new thing, like... When I did the Poughkeepsie video, I didn't do anything different with that filming. I mean, I don't know, certain scenes do sound a little muffled. That's also kind of like if it's crowded or outside or something. For the most part, I mean, that's just me personally. I haven't noticed any problem with the sound. I also been watching and editing these forever, so I don't know. But yeah, no, what was I going to say? Just like some Power Rangers actors, look at the actors who passed away and became new actors in new shows. I don't know if you're bringing up Power Rangers to mention like a Power Rangers reunion or something, because that would be cool to see. Although, like you said, someone passed away or they're on other things. Yeah, reunions are weird. Like for TV shows, like I didn't see the Friends one. Maybe it was really good. King of Queens actually did like a sort of mini reunion recently, and King of Queens is one of my favorite shows. Very underrated show in my opinion. Of course, Jerry Stiller unfortunately passed away, who was like kind of the linchpin of that show, or one of them. So they couldn't have him in it, which was huge, you know, not seeing him. But Kevin James and Leah Remini were in it, and the other actors who were in it, like, they all aged, like, so badly. Like, Kevin James looks about the same, but, like, Leah's had a bunch of surgery. She doesn't look the same. Even, like, Nicole Sullivan and some of the other ones look like they've aged, like... I mean, I know the show ended, like, 13 years ago, but... Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, you always want reunions because it's like, you know, hey, it's the show I watched. Like, I want to remember it. Like, I want to see the people again. But then you see them again, and it's kind of sad because it's like you watch them, like, every week or whatever. And then you see them again, and they're, like, you know, in their 60s, or I don't think they're that old. But my point being, like, you know, they're a lot older now. They're not, you know, they're not those characters anymore. You know, like, they played those characters for so long that you associate them with them. But, you know, after you do a show, believe it or not, you're just a regular person. So it's not the same, you know, and seeing Kevin James try to act like Doug Heffernan again for, like, a little reunion, like, was just kind of cringy, to be honest. It was appreciated. I mean, they didn't have to do it. And, of course, it was all, like, over Skype because of the COVID, so, like, you didn't even get to really see them. I mean, you saw them, but they weren't, like, in the same room together. So that was a little disappointing. But same with any show, you know, it's talk about your favorite. Okay, see, that's a topic I could really get into. God, I love Kim Possible. I feel like I'm going to lose the entire audience, though, if I do that. I actually just recently watched the Kim Possible movie for, like, the 5th millionth time. Not the live-action one, the So the Drama, which is, like, an awesome episode. Or movie, rather. I never watched King of Queens, but I did enjoy KJ. I never saw Hitch. I know he's in it. Here Comes the Boom's a great movie. And actually, there's a lot of King of Queens characters in that movie. like Gary Valentine, who plays like his family member, and they actually are related in real life. Am I really talking about my favorite Kim Possible episodes? Because I mean, I could go on a whole thing on that. My favorite episode of the series, and again, this is going to mean nothing to anybody who hasn't seen the series, is the first episode of season 4, Ill Suited, which was the first episode to come out after the movie. And I remember how excited I was when that episode came out. Must have been like 2006, 2007, because Kim Possible was supposed to end after season 3, after they made the movie, which could have been and was an excellent like series finale. But the show got so much demand that they actually made a season 4. And I was so excited for it. I think they could have done anything and I would have loved it. But like season 4 started so strong. Now, in retrospect, a lot of season 4 wasn't as good, but the first few episodes were fantastic, I gotta say. Especially the first one, which was, as I mentioned, ill-suited. Basically any episode that involved like Kim and Ron's kind of like dynamic, not necessarily their relationship, although that is touched on a lot, but like just their dynamic, like how like she needs him and how he like is kind of like afraid that he's gonna blow it. Like I don't know, I found something so relatable to Ron Stoppable throughout the entire series, and that's what made the finale of the actual series really awesome. Which was, of course, the season 4 finale. I won't ruin it for anybody, but like it was really nice to see Ron and like what he did in that, and the whole show kind of like there were so many feel good moments in that show. Like even the bad guys got kind of a decent ending in Kim Possible. I know that sounds weird to say. Not all of them, but like the show just kind of made you root for almost everybody. Like even if you didn't like the person per se, like there was just so much humor in the show. It had some dark moments for like a teen show. It had some moments where they overdid the drama, I'll admit. Like, you know, it would be like the one like Bueno Nacho, which is a really early episode where Kim and Ron both work at Bueno Nacho. They kind of overdid that whole concept that like, you know, Kim was jealous of Ron because he was doing a better job. Like, I thought that was a little forced. But again, that's kind of what made the show interesting, is that they weren't just fighting supervillains. They were fighting, like, kind of their own little issues on the side. Kind of like Power Rangers, but obviously a lot different. And obviously the show is completely ludicrous, like how this, you know, teenage cheerleader is just flying all over the world saving people. Like, I'm not saying cheerleaders can't save people, but just the premise that, like, oh yeah, she's, like, in Japan one night, she just comes home and goes back to school like nothing happened. Like, that wouldn't happen. Yeah, that's what's the sticking point for me, not all the other crazy stuff. But of course, you can't go wrong with Dr. Draken. Dr. Draken was awesome. Because Dr. Draken... I'm actually surprised I didn't lose a lot of viewers over that. I do enjoy Dr. Draken and Shigo, who I've always said was sort of loosely based on Harley Quinn. Except, unlike Harley Quinn, Shigo's not like a mindless slave to Draken, except in that one episode. She's like kind of like his antithesis. Like, she kind of keeps up with him, like, you know, basically always pointing out how dumb his plans are. Oh, we're up to 4 viewers. I feel like this is what happened last time. Like, I tried to log off, and every time I was about to log off, like, more viewers showed up. Because that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm at that point in the fake show where, you know, I'll stay on as long as people want to talk, but otherwise I'm kind of good. Like, I've kind of said my whole thing. Did Shigo have a love interest? You really want me to spoil the series? Because, I mean, she didn't technically. In fact, I can't even think of one. Oh, no, there was one where she goes on a date with Mr. Barkin, but that was kind of a weird episode. Oh, we got B Mark. Bobby, do you invent... That's a really random question, but I open myself up to random questions. No, I don't, to be honest. I have a couple stocks. I'm not going to really get into that because that's like personal information. But no, cryptocurrency, I have no desire, nor do I completely understand it. As to your question about Shigo having a love interest, like that's major spoiler territory is all I'm going to say. Favorite food right now. I love that. Favorite food right now. Oof, I don't know, because, I mean, I love pizza, but I've had a lot of pizza lately, so if we're talking right now, it's probably still pizza, but, like, I'm just trying to think, like, there's so many foods that could be in that running. Chicken, I love chicken, especially when it's, like, you know, basted in something like barbecue sauce. That teriyaki chicken from the cookout was really good, by the way, Quaffle. Alright, now we're getting some people here. Go ahead, spoil it, I'm not going to watch it. Alright, I'm about to spoil, like, literally the series finale, Kim Possible, if anybody cares. And actually, I did not like this part, to be perfectly honest. Ping pong or table... Isn't that like the same thing? I thought ping pong was table tennis. I've played ping pong. It's pretty fun. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, Quaffle. Shigo ends up with Dr. Draken. Like, they actually end up together, and it just felt so forced. There's like one episode where they hint it, and then the last episode it's strongly hinted that they end up with each other. I don't know why. I feel like Draken's like 20 years older than her in the show, but yeah, Shigo and Draken end up together. I don't know why. They just do. And so is Crypto. Favorite arcade you've been to? I mean, I have been to a fair share of arcades, but like they all kind of feel same-ish. Like there's not one where I'm like, oh, this one really blew it away. Like, I mean, Dave & Buster's, like, I've been to so many Dave & Buster's, but like I can't think of my favorite one. It's basically the one that has the most games that I like in it. So I guess I'd say Dave & Buster's. I actually just recently learned that there's a barcade in Connecticut. Barcade is one of those things that I was like somewhat interested in going to. I didn't think we had one in Connecticut. Not for the bar part, obviously, but for the arcade part. In the series spoilers, Kim is possible. That's another spoiler that I'm not going to get into, but I mean, I will say that Kim is actually not the one who saves the day in the finale. And that, yeah, I love the series finale, to be perfectly honest with you. Other than the whole Draken and Shigo getting together thing, which I thought felt forced, the rest of it really went well, I thought. Like, the rest of it, that was a satisfying ending, I thought, to the series. A lot of people still, to this day, want a Season 5 of Kim Possible. As a fan of the show, I wouldn't be against it. I think Will Friedle even said he would do it, but like I don't see it happening. I think the finale was perfect. I don't know that, you know, even as Season 4 went on, it was getting kind of weird with like Kim and Ron doing real life stuff, like getting ready for college and like what would they do? Like get a mortgage on a house together? Like I don't want to see that. Like I don't want to see them do real life stuff. I've been to Barcade. Oh, that's cool. Like, where is it? Old Saybrook? Like, I don't know. I know there's one in Connecticut. I wouldn't mind checking that out. But yeah, no, I love arcades in general, but I just feel like they're all kind of similar. Like, I want to go to an arcade that has, like, not necessarily, when I say the old arcade games, I don't mean like Pac-Man or whatever, although I like that too, but like, I want to go to one that has like the old Spider-Man game, the old X-Men game, like the games that used to be at Ocean Beach Arcade when I was a kid. Those games were great. They were all like the same game, they just changed the character. Like the X-Men game would be the same as the Spider-Man game, but like it was just like over-the-top action, seizure-inducing flashing and fighting, and like those games are hard to find. Like I know there are ports of them that like you can kind of find emulators, but like it's not the same as going to an arcade and actually like playing it. And playing with friends. Like I remember playing the old Gauntlet arcade game and like four of us all putting in quarters trying to get to the end of the game, and I don't think we ever did, but like that was awesome. That stuff was awesome. It's in New Haven. That's disappointing. I don't know if I want my experience to actually be a real arcade game trying to get there to survive. But, yeah. As you can tell, you know, this is a pretty low-tech stream. Like, I'm not doing any special effects. I'm not doing any, I didn't even have an intro or an outro. Like, I don't have any, like, videos playing. It's just me sitting in this swingy thing, and so be it. Like, that's your show. Ocean Beach Arcade. Yeah, it is, actually. I don't know why I knew that, but I did. But, what was I going to say? I mean, I'd check that out. Like I said, I like arcades. It's not... When I was a kid, arcades were like everything. But, like, now there's so many games on consoles and so many that are, like, free or cheap that, like, it just kind of eliminates the need for arcades. Whereas before, it's like the only time you could get that kind of experience was at an arcade. For seizure and switching some LSD, well, that's a fact that I could have probably figured out on my own. See, now I'm getting the opposite here, where my view counter is at 2, but it's telling me that I got like 5 viewers, so it's whatever. Like I said, I'm here for a little while longer. If anybody hasn't asked a question yet, feel free to do so. When strap facts drivers, you're somewhere safe. You're somewhat safe. Okay. Well, that's something I'm glad to hear about, I suppose. But yeah. When the view counter on YouTube sometimes works, I'm somewhat not sure when the view counter is. I'm also still trying to figure out the difference between table tennis and ping pong, because I could swear they were the same thing. Talk about Princess Sally Acorn. The funny thing is, you guys are giving me topics I could legitimately talk about. I just don't know what to say about them. like Princess Sally Acorn, who I really kind of had a back and forth with in terms of the comics. In the show, she was actually pretty cool in the Sonic Sat AM show. Like, she took charge. Like, she was like the leader. You know, she had, I know most of you have no idea what I'm talking about. Quaffle actually does, but in the TV show, I thought she was pretty good. In the comics, she was okay until, like, Sonic 50. She started to become like a damsel in distress, and she became kind of grating, in my opinion. And then again, she had some good moments and some bad moments, and I don't know, I never really got into her. Sally Beauty Supply. You literally just have like a reference for everything we make, and I love it. But yeah, Princess Sally Acorn was okay. I mean, as far as the extra characters that they came up with for the Sonic comic, and I know she wasn't like, she was from the TV show, so she's not like a comic exclusive, but like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. She was okay. Ping pong is Chinese table tennis. I can't tell if that's a real fact or not, but to me, I mean, any game that I've played that's involved a green table and a white ping pong ball, I've called ping pong. Like, maybe it's actually called table tennis. I don't know. I mean, either name makes sense to me because it is a table game and you're playing a tennis-like activity. So, I mean, we'll accept either answers, either answer. But yeah. Yeah, I'm actually pretty talked out, which is rare for me. I know Yassine stopped by to literally say make a Red Sox video. Assuming that was really Yassine, because I feel like the real Yassine would have more to say than that. Ping pong is Chinese. That's the thing that's sticking with me. So yeah, this is kind of a last call for questions and stuff. Otherwise, I'll probably sign out. Been another good episode here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Apparently, B-Mark enjoys cryptocurrency and stocks as hobbies, which I never thought of it that way, but hey, everybody has their own hobbies. Probably make more money doing that than you do sitting in a swinging chair on a stream. Hope nobody's getting vertigo from this, by the way. I find it strangely calming. Yeah. Huh. What are your plans for today, Strap? I'm probably just going to take it easy after the stream. Get ready for tomorrow's stream, which will be Retro 33. So you guys are like, oh, what do you have to get ready for? But I do have to get all the games ready, make sure all the consoles work and whatnot. One of the games I'm still downloading, but I digress. So yeah, this has been episode 6 of Net Gains. Sort of a little State of the Union type of thing as we head into summer 2021. Very exciting stuff coming up. I've teased a few other streams. I've mentioned mall tours. I've mentioned, you know, music, different things, different rants. And of course, this is nothing but one big rant. So, you know, I appreciate you guys listening, spending some time on your Wednesday afternoon with me. Hard to believe it's Wednesday already. I feel like this week just started, but because of Memorial Day, I don't know. This is like midweek. It feels like it's like a Tuesday. It started on a Tuesday. Working till... Oh, so you're working today. That's good. I know you were mentioning you didn't like have work going on. I'm glad they started giving you some hours and whatnot. I could have cameoed in your back window. Oh, you know how funny... Now you got me looking. You know how funny that would have been? Of course, by the time, I'm not going to stream till 5 just so that you can come here in the back window. But that would be hilarious. Why do you dislike Amy? I don't really have an opinion on Amy Rose, honestly. I mean, she's just kind of there. What I don't get is the Sonic fandom who goes like crazy over her. Like the ones that are like, oh, she should be playable in Sonic Mania. It's like, well, why? Like, what would she really add to the game? Or any game. Like, I'm not saying I hate her. I feel like she's a support character. You know, she's there for plot reasons. I'm not even going to say she's there to get kidnapped, but she's there to kind of just be there. Like, she's an extra character. If you want to give her, like, a couple levels or whatever, that's fine. But people are like, oh, she's, like, one of the main cast. I'm like, not really. Like, she appeared in Sonic CD, which was, you know, part of the main series, but also the more obscure one. She appears in Sonic Adventure as a playable character. And other than that, she has a few appearances in the portable games, but she doesn't have this long history of being a playable character. So I don't really get this, like, obsession with bringing her back, as if she was this big thing. Forgot my Fitbit at home. Contemplating walking when I get home. Nice. You do enjoy your walking. Yeah, I'll probably head to the gym after this or in a little bit. Everything's kind of getting mixed around lately, which I actually kind of like. I don't like doing the same thing in the same order every day, so I knew this was coming up. I'm glad everything worked out well today with my job this morning, so I had time to do this and kind of, do it pretty well. So, once again, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. I'm getting ready to wrap things up here. Amy, I'm not saying she's not, great character's a bit of a stretch, but I'm not saying she's not a good character. Like, I don't know, what has she really done in any of the past games? She's in Generations, like, Sonic, we're in trouble. She's in Lost World, I think, doing almost the same thing. Like, she's there. Like so many of the extra Sonic characters, she's there. Yet people, focus on her as if she's, the missing link or something. Just, by the way, I polished this bottle off. This expires June 28th, 21. That's actually fairly soon. But yeah. So, on that note, again, I'm getting ready to wrap things up here. I know I've said that 4 times, but like I mentioned, do check out Retro 33 tomorrow on my Twitch channel. That is Chaos Blur. That'll be my first Twitch stream in a little while. Should be another fun one that I'm hoping Randy will get in on, along with, hopefully along with a lot of other people. But like I said, thanks for watching episode 6 of Net Gains. My name is Bobby Gaines, and well, this is what we are doing.